Welcome back to Offroad Outlaws, guys, and today we're actually going to be converting this Ram TRX into a, air quotes, Ram 2500 diesel. Now, we're going to attempt to do this with what we have, and it's not necessarily going to be exactly the same, but we're going to go as far as we can in terms of getting as close as possible to what a newer Ram 2500 would be like. Now, granted, it's actually not going to be necessarily that difficult to do, because what we're going to do is we're going to diesel swap it, and then we're going to try to make it look as much like it's a bigger truck as we can. We might be able to mess with the body a little bit, and we're of course going to do some custom badging on the side, obviously change it over to say 2500, but again, it's not necessarily a quote-unquote actual 2500, but it's as close as we can get to a diesel-powered Dodge Ram with the newer body style. So that's what we're going for with this build in this video. Now, if you have any other suggestions for any other builds, make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. So let's go ahead and jump straight into the upgrade process. So let's build out the block, let's build out the grip, let's get everything all ready to go. And then diesel swap is absolutely happening. Durability is getting built all the way out. E-brake is getting installed. And turbo tuning is going all the way up to stage 4. Now that that's done, we can get down to the other aspects of the build. So what we're going to do is, first off, the front is going to get a solid axle pro. And the rear is probably going to stay leaf sprung. So should it be solid axle pro or pro heavy duty? I think probably for the size of this truck, I'm going to go with the standard pro. We might go to the pro heavy duty later on in the future, but I don't think we're going to need to. Now, solid axle monster, solid axle pro. What does solid axle pro have in the back? Is it also coil sprung? Let's do a solid axle, like a standard one. And we'll do the standard non-heavy duty, but we'll modify it heavily. So going all the way up to stage 5 in the front and the rear, let's see, spring brackets, we'll do, upper mount, lower mount. So we could do a spring over conversion, but I don't know how well that's actually gonna go for us. You know what I mean? So I think, do I want the spring over conversion? I don't know. We'll leave it spring under for now, and then we'll go from there. First thing I want to do is sort out the front. So we'll start off with like 0.3 axis width, and then travel we're going to set at about 0.4, and then we're going to go from there. No, we are not leaving it like this. That would be very squatted and very outside what we're trying to do, let's say. So let's go ahead and match the axis width in the back, because I think we're working with a 0.03. Yeah, so 0.03 in the back as well, but it's also a different axle type, so that could actually be playing a big role in that. So let's go with actually a little bit of a 0.4, and then travel-wise, let's bring you up in the back. There we go. And then now that we've brought the rear up, we can actually, if we wanted to switch to the spring over setup, we could. Now, let's see. Spring brackets, stiffness, travel. Shocks wise, let's go to shock 1, and we will bring them up to about, like 1.5 in size. They're not going to be seen all that much. So let's see. Leaf spring mount height. Let's see. I won't worry about that too much. We'll leave that kind of as is for now. We'll make the damping about like 2.9, well, I say 2.9, 2,900. And then the damping in the front's going to be about, like 3,000. We'll start with that and we'll go from there. Now, axle type and brake type, I'm not going to worry about that. We'll sort that out a little bit later. So that's all good for the moment. We're going to upgrade the front and rear wheels to stage 5. And I think with the wheel size in the front, well, first of all, let's do the radius. So I think I'm going to go with a 1.1 radius and a 1.2 width. So we'll do 1.1 radius and 1.2 width in the back as well. And then the wheel size, we're going to bump up to about a 1.3-ish. I'm going to go for a little bit of a, kind of like a deeper dish wheel on this particular build. It's not going to be a huge wheel, but it will be slightly deep dish. So, or at least the closest I can find to a deep dish in this game anyway. Now, gear tuning, we're going to upgrade it to the max, but we're not going to, well, since we're already here, we might as well. Let's see. Going to go with my standard baseline setup, 3-2-2-0-1-5, and then 1-2, let's see. Yeah, actually it should be 1511.9. That's a really good baseline tune. I find it to be very quick. The only thing that tune won't give you is a ton of top speed, but that's not too big of a deal. Now, it still seems like our front is a little bit wider than the back, but I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. Let's see how the front flex actually look. Oh, that's great. I mean, we're already at 29 degrees, and it's only barely pulling the rear axle off the ground. So that's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Let's see how that rear leaf sprung axle actually does. That's really good. I'm proud of that for leaf springs. Okay, I'm happy with the flex. This thing should be able to make its way down any trail we throw at it, no problem at all. Now, let's sort out the actual wheel setup. Now, obviously, we haven't done the graphics yet. We haven't done the appearance yet, but we will get to that very shortly. So I'm thinking, because I wanted something with a little bit of dish to it, and there is that, and that's got some dish, but, like, it's not fully what I'm looking for. Now, if I was to chrome them, it might be, but even so, it's still not 100% what I'm looking for. Now, let's see. I think that's going to probably be closest-ish to what I'm looking for, but I don't know if I want to stick with this whole chrome approach. Like, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like it a lot, but I don't know if it's exactly what I'm looking for. I might go for a little bit more of a gray with the chrome, and then we'll dial it back on this rear wheel. Let's see. Dial it back down to a little bit more of a gray. And that should be fine. Okay, that should be fine. And then now I'll handle the tire options. So let's do a tire that's got a good all-round spec to it. These are good all-round, and so are these. These are a little bit better on rocks, but a little bit worse everywhere else. So I'll do these, and then we'll kind of go from there. We'll test them out, and we'll see if we like them. So that's good to go, and that actually looks really good, in my opinion, of course. Now, tires and wheels are done for the moment. Now, let's see. Paint-wise, there's a lot of different routes you can go with something like this, with a truck build like this, and I'm thinking, how would the metallic look? I'm like, on the metallic. The metallic is like, okay. I like a lot of these really deep colors. They look really good, but I'm not entirely sure which route I want to go with them. I really like the red, but we need to do a little bit more to make this thing look a little bit more heavy duty, because we are trying to make it a 2500 and not necessarily a 1500, which is essentially what we were given to work with. So flags, I won't worry about that right now. We'll do that later. And then now comes the point where we actually do a little bit of work with the decals to try to make it embody that 2500 look a little bit more than a 1500. So what we're going to have to do next is in the decals and wraps and stuff like that, we're going to have to put a 2500 up here on the hood, and then the C logo right here, and then Ram down here on the bottom of the door. So we'll go ahead and do that on this side, and then we'll go over to the other side, and we'll probably just flip it to the other side, so everything lines up in the same place. And so let's see. Now, I think we'll do most of it anyway in this font, because this is going to be the most realistic. And then I'm going to dial that sizing down, pull it back just a little bit, and then edit our text. We're going to put 2500 up there, and then we're going to have to dial that sizing down just a little bit more. And then once we've got that sorted out, I'm going to ease it just a little bit further down, and then make sure it's all lined up, and then I'm going to back this off just a tad. Just in terms of color, I don't know. I mean, oh, that looks good. Yeah, the black with the red looks really good. Okay, so now we're going to follow that up. We're going to follow that up with the C emblem right here. And then that font does not work for that. That font does not work for that at all. So let me see. I'm going to switch fonts real quick, because what looks like that's closer, but it's not what I'm... None of these really match that particular font very well, so I guess we'll go as close as we can. I wish this one wasn't I mean, I guess that's going to be close-ish, but it's really not. You know what I mean? It's one of those where it is, but it isn't, and I don't know how to feel about it. I really don't know how to feel about it. I mean, I guess we'll leave it there like that, and we'll see how it goes, because that's kind of the closest I can get, but, I don't like it. It doesn't look exactly the way I want it to look, but that's okay. We'll move along from there, and then down here on the door, is where the Ram logo is going to go, because they're doing that on a lot of the newer Ram trucks. So we'll do Ram down there at the bottom of the door. And that is going to be, I wish we could chrome that, you know, because a lot of these, obviously, you know, in the real world, that text would be chromed. So when you're building one here and you're trying to somewhat realistically replicate it in Offroad Outlaws, you kind of want it to have some degree of chrome to it. And you can kind of get away with like kind of a silver. That's not terrible. That's not terrible, but it's not entirely what I'm looking for, but I think we can get close enough with that. So let's see, 2,500, and we will flip that and check, and we will flip this guy and check, and we will flip this guy and check. All right, now let's check the other side. They're on the other side, they're backwards, but that's okay. We'll go with that for now. Now, on the back, now here's the other thing. We do need the gigantic Ram logo on the tailgate. That's, for whatever reason, if you didn't already know what kind of truck it was, Dodge feels the need to put a Ram logo about that big on the tailgate on some of these. Not really, but at the same time, it's like, it's one of those where it's kind of a joke, but it's also kind of not a joke, because they actually do that from the factory, and you're like, oh, okay. Now, I'm going to have to add extra layers here, but that's fine. And is that... Okay, that's the... Oh, wait, no, that is not the same. Now, let me see if I can... Can I... Yes, I can duplicate this. And then, once I've duplicated that, I'm going to try to create a shadow. And I don't know how... Oh, that actually kind of works, except I wish it was the other way around. That'll be close enough. Yeah, that'll be close enough. Okay, I actually did not think the shadow was going to come out that good, so that we're going to leave. We're gonna leave that right there, and it'll be good to go. So that's pretty much done. Now we have to handle the body add-ons for the truck and try to make it a little bit more... Try to make it, honestly, a little bit more heavy-duty-like and a little bit less like a half-ton. Not that half-tons are bad at all, but we're going for a little bit of a different vibe here. So there are some heavy-duty bumpers that we could go with, and I think that that's going to probably... I think this one definitely embodies the look we're going for a little bit more than any of the other bumpers. And then fenders-wise, this is where I'm kind of back and forth about it, because we could go with, like, you know, a dually kind of a setup, or we could cut the fenders. I don't really want to cut them. I don't really think cutting them works all that well. We could do a very slight fender extension, and I think that that kind of works, but then again, I don't know, because I'm going to have to make it wider if I do that. So those of you that watch very closely may notice that the placement or the sizing of these logos and emblems may have changed just a tiny little bit. And the reason for that is because we had a catastrophic game crash and it wiped everything that we did. So I had to redo all of this, I had to redo that, I had to redo the bumpers, I had to redo almost everything on the whole truck. But it's okay, because it's pretty much good to go now. And at this point, I think that with this bumper, this wheel and tire package, the little fender extensions, the logos, and everything else, I think it looks pretty close to what we're looking for, minus the fact that it needs an exhaust. Now, we could do a flatbed conversion, but here's the thing. I kind of want to, because we're building a Ram 2500, I kind of want to throw the ginormous Ram logo on the back just to do it. And so, let me see. What do we want for steps? Do we want steps? We might as well get them just to have them. And then I think we will do a light bar up top, like a rectangular style light bar. And that goes right over the 2500 logo. I won't do it this time. Yeah, I won't do it this time. Maybe on a future build. Now, winch-wise, that bumper is literally designed to accept one, so that's good to go. And then, let's see, high lift jack. I'm not going to worry about the high lift jack this time, but we could do a bed stack. We could also do a large exhaust tip, like a large single exhaust tip, which I think that probably suits the character of the truck the best. I think it actually looks pretty good on there. And then we'll swap these out for some white HIDs, and I think we are just about good to go. And let's see, oh, we could do the toolbox as well, but I think we'll hide the, I'm guessing that it just hides in the bed under the tonneau cover. And then we'll do, well, here's the thing though. Those are Chevy tow mirrors. And I'm like, if we're gonna put tow mirrors on the Dodge, they gotta be Dodge tow mirrors, right? Like, hopefully we get those in the game at some point. So I'm gonna go ahead and add all of those mods. And then I'm gonna make the rear just a tiny bit wider because I feel like it's just a little bit narrower than the front. Because you could see if you look at the fender line, or it's a lot better matched now. But now it's like, well, before it was not quite matched that well, but it looks pretty dang good. Now, I think we got to take it out for a quick test run because I'm kind of excited about it, actually. Well, I'm not kind of excited about it. I am excited about it. Now, let me see what we've got here. Whoa, look at these. All right, they switched this up quite a bit. Now, there is TC's Quick Race, though. I love TC's Quick Race. TC's Quick Race, it always, like, it's not just because the map was designed for the channel. Like, this map literally sticks with me as one of my favorite maps in the game, solely because the creator, Jonathan Keffert, did such an incredible job on it, and that literally sticks with me to this day. Like, they put in so much freaking work on it. Now, let's give this thing a good look around, a good walk around, and then now, let's see if she rips or not. 3, 2, 1, send it. Yeah, it rips pretty good. It actually rips a lot better than I thought it was going to. And it's not actually that big. I think, actually, you know, I was skeptical about the little fender extensions, but I think the fender extensions actually really helped with the look and the stance of the truck, making it look a little bit more 2500-ish than 1500-ish. But let's see what kind of speeds it can hold down this track. And let's go! It gets off the line real quick with that gearing tune. Soaks up the bumps pretty well, too. Now, we could have gone with a more effective mud tire setup on this thing. These are a little bit more of a all-across-the-board general-purpose tire. They're good on rocks, I will say, but whoa, I should have given it a lot more throttle going up and over that. Now, this was obviously not designed to be a race vehicle. This was not designed to be something that we would take out here to the racetrack, you know, and actually win races with, but it's more of I just wanted to take it out here to see what its overall kind of capabilities were, because not only is this map great for racing, but it's great for just testing the overall capabilities of your rigs. Now, let's make our way back through the water, and I'm sure it's gonna, like, you know, damage us out a little bit, but I'm not gonna worry about that because we've got a repair pack. Can we do a rollover? Yes! Yes! My only question is, can we jump up and over to the finish line? If we had landed that, that would have been so perfect. That would have been so beautiful if we had landed it, but, yeah, no, landing it didn't actually happen. Now, let's actually see how it does when we get it up into some proper rocks, because this area up here, this is gnarly stuff, and I also have not tried out the low range at all. So let's go ahead and give it a quick repair, and we will throw the truck into low range. And let's see how she does. Now, I will say that we're not running the biggest, you know, the biggest tires we could possibly be running. And so I'm sure that's going to affect us to some degree. But the flex is really good. Now, considering the fact that this thing is on, like, very chromed out, like, street wheels, it's doing better in the rocks than I would have imagined. Especially, you know, once again with the fact that we're nowhere close to, like, maxed out on tire size. We've got a long way to go, actually, in terms of how big we can make these tires. Yeah, that's a tough spot. That is a very tough spot. Let me make my way up and around and back up just a tad bit. Whoa, come on. There you go. Dude, this thing just absolutely rips. You just make sure to, like, get the tires pointed where you want them, and they dig in, they grip, and they rip. I mean, it's usually not this easy to get up on top of these rocks, and this thing, I mean, it is just absolutely flexing its way through all of it. I mean, look at how much it's tucking tire. Like, it is just absolutely stuffed. It is stuffed right now. That is so good. Look at that freaking flex. That's actually really, really, really good. I am blown away by how well that flexes out. Dude. Let me ease my way. Well, actually, I'm gonna go to the left because there's a gigantic wall in between, like, me and where the racetrack is. I've never actually come all the way through here, so to drive down, like, all the way through here just to see what's here in something like this that I didn't even build for rock crawling is pretty awesome, I've gotta say. Like, the way this thing actually gets down in these rock crawling obstacles is super impressive. At least to me it is. It's no crawler, but man, it certainly tries to be. I know I kind of just yeeted it right there at the end, but I was like, man, we're so close to the end of the track right here, we might as well just freaking send it. But dude, I actually really loved this build. And if y'all want to go back through the video and copy the build yourselves, dude, absolutely go for it. And if you enjoyed this video and have any suggestions at all, make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. And if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on, and I will see y'all next time. Talk to y'all later.